Hey everybody, JC here. Hope you're having a wonderful week. It's Wednesday afternoon here in Wichita, Kansas, about 1 o'clock. Gonna go do some Tesla FSD driving around certain parts of Wichita. Let's go. All right, push the little blue button. We're at the Hilton in the Hilton parking lot. Gonna circle around the parking lot here to get over to the front. It is a fairly cold winter day. Little bit of a light wintry mix. It's about 36 degrees right now. Pretty windy too. We've got about, you can see with the flags, we've got about 30-mile-per-hour winds right now, gusting. So we should be good. And what I've been told, fairly typical for Kansas, this part of Kansas in March. We've had some really good weather the last time I was here, a little bit more wintry this go around. All right, coming up to 21st Street here, we're going to take a left. Got some traffic in front of us, so we're going to have to contend with that. Wow, and the traffic is really backed up. All right, we're going to creep up here. We're getting a courtesy gap. We're going to creep up a little bit. We're going to get into the middle chicken lane. We do have some traffic, though, that we've got to contend with behind us. We find a gap and we go. Great job. Excellent job. That was excellent. All right, come up to the traffic light here and take a left. I am not sure why that traffic is so backed up there at the intersection of Highway 93 and 21st Street. It was bad. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it is the, getting towards the end of lunch hour, but I don't know. Seems like there might be silent. I did not see a wreck up there, and the lights are functioning, so not exactly sure. Maybe that's normal lunch. I mean, there are a lot of spots around here in this area, so that could be it. So yeah, we're just going to go to a few different parts of Wichita, some points of interest. So I think I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm basically on the northeast side of Wichita. We're going to go to the eastern part of Wichita, then a little bit over to the west, and then see how we're doing at that point, and go up to the north part in a place called Park City, and then we'll just come on back. See the hay out there to the left. Yeah, pretty dreary day today, as you can see. Not too bad from a winter standpoint in Kansas, though. Like I said, it's 37 degrees right now. So pretty typical for this area this time of the year. The wind gusts are maybe a little bit above normal. Like I said, 30 to 35 mile per hour winds. But that is one really amazing aspect about Teslas and EVs in general, but especially Teslas, is being so bottom heavy that they do really well. With that type of environment. right, we got so one thing I also want to mention, because of the fact that the weather has kind of turned back to more of a normal winter type environment. No, as you can see, no snow or rain or anything like that, but we definitely have a lot of wind. So I have actually put it on the chill mode. And quite frankly, for a tour around a city I'm still not all that familiar with, it's my third time up here, and we're going to some areas I've never been to before, I just figured the chill mode would probably be the best mode to be in for that. So we'll see if we notice anything interesting about the chill mode. One thing we can tell is it was extremely confident making that unprotected left turn on 21st Street out of the hotel parking lot. So it definitely doesn't have anything to do with confidence level, that's for sure. That was extremely human-like. And we had to use the middle chicken lane. I mean, that's basically what that is there for, is turning in and out of both of those lanes. So it used it perfectly. Looks like there's a Whole Foods market over there. Little shopping center to our front right. Pull up the... So yeah, we are headed... like I said, we are on the northeast, or I should say the hotel that we're staying at is kind of on the northeast side of Wichita, right as you're getting on the outskirts. We are going into the eastern part of Wichita proper right now. So we're actually going westbound right now. I know that sounds funny. We're going westbound to get to the east side of Wichita. But our hotel is really right on the outskirts of the Wichita area. Going by, it looks like a very nice subdivision over there. Beautiful church. It's like a gated community here. And so the area of East Wichita we're going into is one of the older, more established parts. So just like any city as it built out, we're in one of those outer suburban areas, if you will, of Wichita. But we're going westbound, heading into the older parts. We'll park over there to our right, and I believe that's a golf course to our left. Yeah, the Wichita Country Club is directly to our left. You see that wall? All right, so we're in the chill mode, but it did not hesitate to get over into the left lane here. Granted, we're on city streets right now, or I guess you could call it suburban / city streets. So there's much less emphasis on left lane being a passing lane and right lane being generally speaking, here in the United States. Well, that's interesting. Somebody walking along with oligarchy is something or another. Okay. So they're protesting the oligarchy. I don't know how much oligarchy there is in Wichita. That's interesting. But he had on an Uncle Sam outfit, and a sign that all I could make out is oligarchy is something. I couldn't figure out what the something is. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he is against the oligarchy. And if I was going to fight the oligarchy of the United States of America, Wichita, Kansas is exactly where I would come to do it. I'm obviously being tongue-in-cheek there. This is a very humble, working-class, salt of the earth type of people here. He was also by himself. All right. Get back over to the left lane again. Not exactly sure why, because we still got about a half mile to go here on this street. We are, just so you know, for those of y'all that know Wichita, we are on East 13th Street right now. And here in about a quarter mile, or a little more than that maybe, we're going to make a left turn on North Edgemore Street. All right, coming up to North Edgemore. And like I said, we'll turn left. We'll go a little south, further into East Wichita. All right. Gonna make a left turn here, but as you can see, it's unprotected at this point. So we need to yield. They pass through. There we go. Nice little suburban neighborhood here on North Edgemore Street in Wichita. Curve around here a bit, and then another. Little dip in the road right there. Yeah, just nice working class neighborhood. Got a park to our left, Edgemore Park. All right, go ahead and we got the next destination should be coming up. Let's go ahead and go. All right. The house we just went by was the former house of the Otero family. And unfortunately, the Oteros were killed murdered in 1974 by someone who went by the moniker BTK. And that was their house. It was January 1974. That was the first 4 murders that BTK committed. And unfortunately, it would not be the last. And so I'm going to pay respects to the Otero family there. It was horrific. Working class family, immigrant family, had come to Wichita to chase the American dream. And it was ripped away from them. And that's what I found, is that Wichita is just full of really good, hard-working, salt-of-the-earth type folks. All right, coming up, I got a elementary school to our right. Got a church up there to the front right. Yeah, like I said, you can tell by the homes here, just really hard-working, I'm not even sure it's middle class now. Most of these homes are, your typical 3-bedroom, 1-bath, maybe 1,000 square feet, probably a little less, type of ranch homes. Very typical for Midwestern towns back in the 50s and 60s. I think most of these homes were probably built in the 40s and the 50s. All right, we're going to turn left here on 13th Street. Furniture consignment store. You see how wide open it is here. But yeah, again, typical 3-bed, 1-bath ranch homes. Most of them are no bigger than 1,000 square feet. And some of them not even that, maybe 800 or 900 square feet. But, families make it work. All right. Go to our next, come in here, and we'll go to our next So directly in front of us used to be the home of Kathryn Bright. It's since been torn down. Kathryn was the 5th victim of BTK, also in 1974. And also want to say condolences to Kathryn's family. Her home was torn down not too long after the 1974 slaying of her. All right, we're back on 13th Street. See here, got the public golf course to the right, McDonald Golf Course. Doing really good with speed selection as well. As you can tell, it's a 35 mile per hour speed limit through here. We are on the chill mode, and we're going about 39 and a 35. Granted, I will say too, I forgot to mention, so I normally not only have it in the hurry mode, but I also normally have it at a 50% max speed offset. I have not only changed it to the chill mode, but I've gone to a 25% max speed offset. So I've cut it in half. So that's probably why we were, the speed selection's great, but I think on the hurry mode and 50% max speed offset, we probably would have been going about 45 in that 35. But, for a tour around Wichita, I think chill mode with 25% max speed offset, probably good to go. All right, we're coming through another nice little neighborhood here in Wichita, working class neighborhood. More ranch style homes, like I said, typical 3-bed, 1-bath, 800 square feet to 1,000 square feet. All right, we are actually going south right now. I believe we're on Oliver Street. Verify that here in a second. Yes, we are on Oliver Street, going southbound on North Oliver. Looks like we've got a vehicle. Oh, they're having some issues. So we get around them. Great job. If that's a school to it. Yeah, there's a middle school, Robinson Middle School. That looks like that school building looks like it has been around for quite a while. There's an elementary, same thing. Very nice school building. It's those old style brick 3 to 4 story. That one's 2 though. 2 to 3 story brick schoolhouses. Definitely built before the 50s, because the style of schoolhouses changed, like in the 60s and 70s. Became more we're going through, we got yellow. All right, it did turn red right over our head, but our wheels, that one we were good to go. Our back tires were definitely over the line at the where the intersection started. So, but I will acknowledge it did turn red right over our head. But legally, that is good to go. All right, continuing on Oliver, we got some kids to our right. Now we are at the intersection of Kellogg and Oliver, so you can tell we're getting closer to the city center. And we are, like I said, we're going southbound on Oliver right now. So, not quite in downtown, but pretty close, getting closer to it. But still on the east side of Wichita. Weather's holding up. The forecast was for a wintry mix. We definitely have wintry weather. Like I said, it's 37 degrees right now. But fortunately, as of right now, the mix part hasn't really showed up. I haven't seen a lot of precipitation, so no snow or rain. Well, at this point, it would probably be snow. But, you know, none of that. Just a lot of wind. The gusts are definitely in that 30 to 35 mile per hour. And I think later tonight it's actually supposed to speed up even more. Some parts of this area of Kansas are supposed to see 50 mile per hour plus wind gust. All right, about to turn right here on Morris. And then we're going to take a left turn on East Pershing, right up here. All right, we'll go on, start our next, let it come up, next site. There we go. And the home that we just stopped at for a second, actually it, there we go. Not sure why it wanted to stop there a little longer. So the BTK's sixth victim, Nancy Fox, lived in that house to our right that we just stopped at momentarily. Nancy lost her life in 1977. And as I said, she was the sixth victim of BTK. And so I want to pay my respects to Nancy's family and to Nancy, obviously. Again, another, You could tell the neighbor, hard-working, salt of the earth, you know, working class people here on the east side of Wichita. And yeah, that was in 1977. All right. Continuing on here on Morris. We got back on Morris. I don't know if that's a school. I think there's a school to our left. I want to stick my head over there too much. I don't want to get nagged. Right. Gonna curve around here. A little hairpin turn. Yeah, so that was, oh, I'm sorry, that is a church. That was a big church campus. St. Mary's. All right, we are on Lincoln. And we'll be here for about a mile. And we are now going closer into down to the city center of Wichita. We are still on the east side of Wichita. Got a park to our left. I felt a wind gust there. The Tesla's just holding up fantastic. Some more homes to our left and to our right. Again, you know, all pretty typical for Midwestern town out here on the plains. These ranch homes, 3-bed, 1-bath, 4-bed, 1-bath. Little detachable garage to the side. Most of them have basements. Dairy Queen there, man. That's an old Dairy Queen too. Wow. All right. Light turn green. Go over 135 bridge. Yeah, you can definitely feel that wind. Doing great. All right. Come up here and take a left on Hydraulic Avenue. There we go. Pass by a Quick Trip QT. That is definitely the most common convenience store chain that I've seen here in the Wichita area, is those QTs, Quick Times. All right. Quick. Stop here. We'll wait till it had a little sudden stop there. Let's let it come back up. There we go. Hesitated again. That's interesting. So that was the former home of Shirley Vian and her children. Shirley was the 7th victim of BTK. She unfortunately lost her life in 1977, and wanted to pay my respects to her family as well. All right, got a green light. We're going to turn left here by the Linwood School. Looks like we've got a pedestrian out in the middle of the road. It's a heck of a day to be out here like that. Feel for him. Make a little clover leaf turn here. I think we're on 30. There we go. Let's see how chill mode does here on the highway for a little bit. Definitely hear that wind. So I think it is definitely, even with the 25% max speed offset, FSD has recognized the amount of wind gust there is. Again, like I said, we're having about 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gust right now. And it has definitely taken that into account with the speed selection. We're in a 60 mile per hour speed limit zone and we're going 62. All right, we got some traffic that's going to be merging in here. See how we do here. Ooh, that was pretty close right there between that Ford F-150 and that blue vehicle. Man, really feel that wind right now. All right, put our right blinker on. We're going to take the exit for 13th Street. Slowing down a bit here. Take a left turn when the light turns. And we are going into the west part of Wichita now. All right, take a left turn. Got some baseball fields to the right. It's like a couple of mills, one to the left and one to the right. Cargill. Yeah, that makes sense. Cargill with all the wheat and corn and other farm products in this area of the country. All right. We are in the city center part, but heading westbound, like on the west side of Wichita now. So we've gone from the east side of Wichita to the west side. And again, we are traveling on West 13th Street now. Get over into the left lane. Otis Park to our right. And most of downtown is actually to our left. If you go down about a mile, go south about a mile. And I did a FSD tour through all the main parts of downtown the last time we were here. So I've got a video up on that if you want to take a look. Nice downtown area. Hear that wind. Let's see, is that a church or a school? It's another big, old, big building. Let's see what that's the high school. Wichita North High School. Another very old school building there. Going over the Arkansas River. Wichita Electrical Training Center. All right. Continuing on 13th Street. Going into the neighborhoods. Curving around here a bit. Some nicer homes through here. Now, these are definitely larger, still older homes, you can tell, but bit bigger than the neighborhoods we saw on the east side of town. I've got a traffic light up here. It's North River Boulevard. And just going around the Arkansas River. So the Arkansas River goes right through the middle of Wichita. And so they've got a lot of stuff built up right along the river all through town. And the river meanders. It's not a straight north-south as it goes through the city. It really meanders in this area. All right, continuing on, pass over McLean Street. Getting over into the right lane. Wait for it to stop, and then we'll head on our way. There we go. Bring it up. All right, got to cross traffic there very nicely. Where we just stopped, that was the former home of Vicki Wegerle. She was the 8th victim of BTK. She unfortunately lost her life in 1986. And so I'll pay my respects to Vicki's family, and obviously Vicki, and the heart goes out to you. Again, you see it. Salt of the earth, hard-working, working-class people here in the middle of America trying to do their part for the American dream. All right, need to make a left turn here. We got traffic oncoming to our right, so we're gonna have to wait on them. And now we've got another vehicle coming from the left, so we're gonna have to wait. And we should have a gap. We've got it. Great job. Excellent job. So we just made a nice unprotected left turn. Not a great field of view there to our left that we had either. But FSD did a tremendous job. All right, gonna take a right turn, get back on 13th Street here. Got some oncoming vehicles. We should be good now. There we go. vehicle turning left, so we get over to the right lane. Great job. Fantastic maneuver. Get right back over to the left lane. Going by the Arkansas River to our right. Some nice homes here on the west side of Wichita to our left. Continuing to curve back around here. Got a mile and a half. We'll get back to 135 and we will go north to Park City. And Park City is basically a northern suburb of Wichita. Riverside Rooster. Going back over the Arkansas River. And I think that was the high school there. Yeah, Wichita North High School. All right, we're at the intersection of 13th Street and Waco. See a little bit of snow, just a little bit. But I'm telling you, that wind, it is definitely, I may bring the max speed offset down to 0 here in a second. We're fine here on the city streets because you can't get going very fast anyway. But before we get back on we're only going to be on 135 for about 5 miles, but still, I think I'm going to go ahead and let's see yeah, I'm going to take that down to 0 today. Even with the 25% max speed offset, I didn't get the sense that it was going more than 3 or 4 miles over the speed limit. I'll keep it at 0. I don't think anybody's gonna besmirch me for that right now. Got about a half mile till we get to 135. You know what I'll do? I'll keep it at the offset just while we're on the city streets. And then right as we're getting on the highway, I'll set it back down to 0. Let's see, because we were going exactly the speed limit there, 35. Let's see what it does now. Let's see, it's a 35 mile per hour speed limit. Yeah, see, it's picking up a little more now. So instead of going 35, we're going 39, which is a little bit more. That's basically going along with traffic. And so on the city streets, let's just stick with traffic. Once we get up on the highway, though, I'll see what the wind is like, but I may lower it back down to 0, or just see what its own speed selection is. Because honestly, I may not even need to adjust it, because it seemed like it was adjusting it on its own. All right, making a left turn here to get on 135 North. Curve around here. Yeah, we'll just see. Like I said, we're not going to be on here long. Right. And one thing about the chill mode is it is way more apt to just get in the right lane and stay there. Oh, Lord. Okay, we got... that was almost an incident right there. With that Linen King work truck, that straight truck, and the van right there. All right, we got vehicle coming onto the highway. And again, we are going northbound right now. We are still in Wichita. We're going to be here for about 4 miles. So again, Park City is basically just a suburb of northern Wichita. We'll go check it out. So we're going 60 and a 60, but as you can see, we're basically going along with traffic. All right, it is getting over in the middle lane. That's interesting. I thought it might just hang out in the right lane there. But maybe it's getting over for traffic coming in. Not exactly sure. Or maybe that lane, either way. All right, slowing down a bit. It is showing that the speed limit is 50 right now. Right through here. Probably because of a construction zone. I mean, this is a pretty significant construction zone. Yeah, I see it. Speed limit 50. Man, you can feel that wind. We got about 3 more miles. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm perfectly okay with it going 50 right now with that wind. And now I see why it got over in that middle lane. It's like, it looks like the right lane basically becomes like an exit lane for the rest of the highway. All right, we are going 50 and a 50. So like I said, I've got it in chill mode and I've got it with 0% max speed offset. So it is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing right now. Feel that wind. All right, we're coming into Park City. Got about 1.5 miles till our exit. A state trooper pulled somebody over. Man, yeah, that wind, it's like turbulence. That's not wind, that's turbulence. Like I'm in a wind tunnel. Well, we're good. All right, our exit's coming up here in a little bit. All right, here's our exit. Put on our right blinker. Get over to the right. Take a right turn, and you see the Park City sign. All right, there we go. We got a protected left. Make our left turn. Got an old subway there. Coming into a nice working class neighborhood here. I'll let it stop, then we're going to get on our way. There we go. All right. That was formerly the residence of Maureen Hodge, who was unfortunately the 9th victim of BTK in 1985. Okay, we're going along one of these side streets that they sometimes have in neighborhoods. We're going to slow down for them. And then we're gonna come out here. Let's see. So we're gonna make a unprotected left turn, but we gotta wait for a vehicle. We should be good. There we go. Great job. Traveling through Park City here, like I said, northern suburb of Wichita. Yeah, I can definitely feel the little bit of that wintry. It's still not, I wouldn't call it a wintry mix, but I can see some snow, little bit of it falling now. Just a little bit. It looks like a little Park City Admin Center. Traveling along on 61st Street here. Got some wheat fields and cornfields to our right. Definitely a little bit more rural. Getting out into a little more rural area. You can tell you're at the outskirts of Wichita. Like once you get past Park City, you are in rural Kansas. All right. Gonna make a left turn up here on North Hillside. And we are right now just passing by right there. That was the home of Dolores Davis, who was unfortunately the 10th and final victim, at least that we know of BTK. She unfortunately lost her life in 1991. And they tore her house down long after that incident. All right. Looks like some newer construction here on the north side of Park City. Definitely, you can tell we're right at the edge. Because you go right to our right is basically all farms and wheat and cornfields, and then you've got subdivisions to our left. So this, I'm literally right now as we're traveling. This is basically where Wichita ends, and or I should say right in here where Wichita ends and rural Kansas begins. All right, taking a left turn on 69th Street. Yeah, I can see a little bit of snow coming down. Just a little bit. Yep. Farms to the right, subdivisions to the left. Some nice homes. I mean, again, your 3 to 4 bedroom, 1 to 2 bath ranch style homes. Cornfields. right outside your door. Nothing growing right now, obviously. All right. We're going to take a left turn here on Hydraulic Avenue. We got a car coming to our left, but we should be good after they pass because I don't see anybody come. You do need to creep up a little bit. There's a bridge right there. Yeah, you can see the snow. That wintry mix is starting to come in. All right. Speed limit slows down to 35 right here. Slowing down for that light. Went down to 20 miles per hour for that light. Starting to speed back up. Got through that zone. I don't think that was a school zone. That's interesting. So you had that light there. I at first thought maybe that was a school zone, and maybe we'll have to go back and look, but it definitely slowed down to 20 as if it were a school zone. And then as soon as we got out of that zone, now it's speeding back up to get close to 35. That's interesting. But I don't think that was a school zone. It looked like it. It had all the look, but I never saw like school in it. All right, taking a right turn here on 61st Street. Come up to the light. We do have a red light, but you can turn right on red in Kansas and nobody coming, so there we go. In here and an immediate, there we go. Great job. And we're turning right on Independence. And this lot to our right was the home of BTK, Dennis Rader. And let's see. And they have torn that house down as well. It no longer exists. And like I said, unfortunately, the gentleman who lived right there where we were just at is responsible for the murders of 10 innocent people. Mostly women, but one father and 2 children as well. And I want to, give condolences to all the families of all of the victims. It's a horrific thing that happened here in Wichita. And for essentially 30 years, one person held a city hostage. But the testament to the city of Wichita is, after having gone through that the people are just still so kind. And, welcoming, humble, hardworking, blue collar. Yeah, you can see that you can see the wind along the intersection there. Yeah. And that wintry mix looks like we've got just one more stop, and then we're going to head on back to the hotel. Yeah, you can see that wintry mix just kind of coming along with the wind. And that Baptist church right there, Park City Baptist Church, we just passed by. Oh, Tesla Model 3, white Model 3. That parking lot was used as a staging area for a handful of BTK's atrocities. The public library over here to the right. Looks like they may be building some new subdivisions over here to the right. So they've cleared out, looks like they cleared out some of the cornfields, and they're going to build some more subdivisions over there. And then right there, we got more cornfields. Lots of cornfields. Corn and wheat. Got an Orthodox church, very small church, but St. Michael Orthodox Church, and that's nice. Got an Orthodox church in town. Very quaint though. Very small building. All right. I'm going to take a right up here on Hillside Street. All right. We'll be on here for just about 3/4 of a mile. And now we've got cornfields and wheat fields to the left and to the right. Yeah, you can see that wintry mix starting to come in as it drifts across Hillside Street. four-way stop coming up here. I believe, yeah, we're taking a left turn here. And we parked perfectly, I mean perfectly, at the Christ Lutheran Church here in Park City in the northern suburbs of Wichita. This is where BTK was the president of the church. All right, well, let's head on back to the hotel. I think we've seen, let's see, it should be getting on its way here. Or maybe I got to end it. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Yeah, I couldn't have it entered in there directly because you can only get 8 in there at a time. But yeah, so this is the Dennis Rader, who was BTK. He was the president of this church. And there were some things that happened here as well, unfortunately. All right, we're going to take a left turn here. Right. Yeah, you can see that wintry mix starting to come in, but Tesla's doing great. Tesla FSD has been doing fantastic. Right. Looks like we're going to stay here, I believe. Let's see what we do here. Do we get up on 96? Can't remember. Oh, this is 254. Never mind. So we're going to go past this. So we'll go underneath this bridge. So we are going southbound now. We just left the Park City suburb and we're back in Wichita proper. Although Park City's part of Wichita. I mean, it's part of the greater Wichita area. But, so yeah, we've been on the northeast side of Wichita, the east side, the west side, and one of the most common, or one of the northern suburbs. So good section. And like I said, you know, you can see it's just a salt of the earth, blue collar, hard working, working class town. Good people. And they certainly didn't deserve what happened and how they were basically held hostage for 30 years by one man. But even something that horrific couldn't defeat the resolve of these people. Didn't change their attitudes on life, how nice they are, how welcoming they are. So it's a horrific, tragic story, but also one that just shows how special these folks in South Central Kansas and just Kansas in general are. All right, looks like we got about another half mile, and we are going to get on 96. We're at the intersection of Hillside and 37th Street in northern Wichita. The sod shop. Oh, yeah, there's a store just for sod. Wow. I'm sure they sell other things besides just sod. Probably things that you plant in the sod or do with the sod. But and dirt and soil. All right. And there you see Highway 96. So we're going to go underneath the bridge and turn left to go east on 96 to go back to the northeast side of town. Yeah, now you can see that wintry mix coming in. You see the snow. Go, get in the left lane. Got a green light, but it's an unprotected. We're gonna need to make an unprotected left here. Got some vehicles coming through. That one's looking like they're gonna turn onto Highway 96 as well. We get in behind them. Let me check my autopilot stats real quick. We're at 0. Yeah, we're good right now. You can feel that wind. Like I said, that's not wind, that's turbulence. All right, we're going 65 and a 65. I am fine with that. Let's just stay here and do 65. Yeah, it is definitely. You can see that you can see it in the sky. That that wintry mix is going to be coming in tonight. And as windy as it is right now, like I said, we're in that 30 to 35 mile per hour zone of wind and gust. It's supposed to get up to around 50 miles per hour tonight. And in some parts of Kansas, 50 plus. So batten down the hatches. I got about 4 more miles here on Highway 96 going eastbound. And like I said, I've got it on chill mode, but more importantly, probably right now, I've got it on a 0% max speed offset. So that's why you see we are just basically pegged at the speed limit of 65. But I'll be honest with you, right now, I think in these conditions, being in the chill mode and going the speed limit is absolutely fine and probably preferable for an out-of-stater. The FSD is just doing great. It is definitely, I think the combination of the bottom heaviness of the Tesla due to the battery pack being entirely at the bottom of the chassis, basically making the floorboard of the chassis, that really helped. I mean, you can just, it just feels so stable. And then FSD has just been doing fantastic with these high winds. All right, another couple miles. National Center for Aviation Training, Wichita State University Aviation Center. Yeah, this is definitely an aviator's town. No doubt about it. I mean, Cessna, Boeing's got a big place here. Airbus has got a big place at the college at Wichita State University. All right, about another mile. Whew, man, that wind is just, I think it's gotten up to 35. They were saying it's going to be between 30 and 35 this afternoon. I was like, I think it's a 35, maybe a little north of that. All right, we've gotten over into the right exit lane. I like that here in Kansas, that they have these lanes, these on and off lane, and they go for a while. So it definitely gives you time to work to merge, that you don't have to merge immediately as you get on and off our highway. So really like that. Oh, all right. Nope, we got cones there. Gonna have to get back over. Cannot go that way. All right. So interestingly, we need to take a right turn. Here, let's see. All right, we got red. We can do it. You can turn right on red, but we got oncoming vehicles. And they've got the rightmost lane sectioned off. Yeah, we still got traffic oncoming right now. And I've told you before, it does not abide by anybody's turn signal. So if somebody's got their left turn signal on, it won't matter. The FSD is not going to trust it. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that. All right, we still got oncoming vehicles. Should have a gap right after this GMC. And there we go. Perfect. And you see they've sectioned off the right. So it was, and we've got, man, it's still got a big old traffic build up here. All right, we got to take a turn here, but we're obviously not going to be able to do it because there's no gap yet. So we'll see what they do. Are they going to give us a gap? Yes, they do. Thank you very much. Great job, FSD. And thank you, ma'am. Wow, FSD has just done fantastic today. And I have taken it to places I have never been in Wichita. So this is my third trip to Wichita. And every place we went to today, I have never been to before in Wichita. All right, pulling into the hotel, see what we do here. All right. Got a spot we can park there. There we go. Oh. Oh, it's going to make me do it manually. I think we were too close to the curb that time. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Let's make sure I don't hit that curb. There we go. Yeah. I think that one, it just had no room to, I mean, I get it. It's trying to get up there. All right. Well, that was a good FSD drive. FSD did great today. But more importantly, I just want to end this one with just having a remembrance, and I just want to make sure I get it all down. Having a remembrance for the 10 souls that were cut short by BTK between the years 1974 and 1991 here in Wichita. It was horrific. I mean, Wichita is not that big of a place. And to have a monster in your midst for that long of a period of time, and he was not caught in 1991. He was not caught until 2005. So for basically 30 years, this one individual held this city hostage, and especially young single women, and some were married, but young women. So for the families of the Otero family that were murdered in 1974, for the family of Kathryn Bright, who was murdered in 1974, to the family of Nancy Fox, who was murdered in 1977, to the family of Shirley Vian, who was murdered in 1977, to the family of Vicki Wegerle, who was murdered in 1986, to the family of Maureen Hedge, who was murdered in 1985, to the family of Dolores Davis, the final, who was murdered in 1991. I want to pay my respects to you, give you my condolences. I purposely did not want to get, I didn't get at it that this was about me paying respects. And as you'll notice, I did not get out of my vehicle. I didn't want to do that. There's other YouTube channels out there who will go and do all that. For me, I wanted to pay my respects to those 10 victims and the families of those victims, but also pay respect to the city and the people of Wichita. Because, again, this is just my third trip up here, but what I can tell you is these are some of the best people on the planet. And what they went through, the fact that they, you know, are still who they are, just the bread and butter working class people in the Midwestern part of the United States, just says volumes. So yeah, that's how I'm going to end this one. FSD obviously did fantastic today, 0 interventions. But that's not really the last thing, is just to pay my personal respects, to the victims of that monster. So I think that's how I'm going to end it. And, everybody, you know, I love you. And, yeah, till my next FSD drive, love all of you. And I hope you're having a great week, and I'll talk to all of y'all again soon. Bye.